What's going on, squad? So this video is a little bit overdue, but you know, it's here nonetheless. So Digimon World Next Order is a Bandai Namco game we've all been wanting to come to the West, and thankfully Bandai has finally answered our cries. Now, it may not be exactly what we were expecting, and there is a good bit of confusion going on in the whole localization process though. When it was first announced, it seemed as if the game was coming to Vita, then it got retracted, then that whole process happened 2 more times until we finally got a confirmation that it is for sure not coming to the Vita in the US. But you see, shortly after that happened, some weird things came up and something else got announced, and it was just super suspicious of the whole, process of what's going on here. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the whole situation. I'm gonna explain why there won't be a Vita version in the US, and I'll also explain all the additions to the PS4 versions that we'll be getting, including all 12 new Digimon. So a couple days after the Vita version was confirmed to not be a thing, English translations popped up in the PS Vita version, and it was very confusing. It was like, what does this mean? At first it seems as if they were initially working on a US Vita version, and this was about to get people mad, because how else would this happen? How else would it appear in the Vita version? But you see, in an interview with the new producer Kazumasa Habu, he explains, "To be honest, we only just found out about that yesterday, and that was October 7th. We hadn't heard from anybody. I'm really not sure how that happened. That wasn't supposed to happen. It was kind of an accident." Sounds very weird. Then he goes on to say, the interviewer says, "Does it imply that there was an English version of the game for PS Vita in development as well?" And Habu says, "A PS Vita localization wasn't planned. The main purpose was to bring the game to the PlayStation 4 to update the graphics for PlayStation 4, so we couldn't put that back into PS Vita. The PS Vita market is pretty small overseas, so we wanted to bring out our best in PlayStation 4. And the interview was very, very persistent. He goes, "I understand that decision from a business perspective, but I'm curious as to how the English text ended up in the Chinese version to begin with." And Habu goes, "What I heard about why the English text is in there was not because we wanted to release it in English territories. We don't translate from Japanese to Chinese. We go from Japanese to English, then to Chinese. So I'm guessing that's why that was left in there. I'm only guessing, but that's a possibility. I'm not sure if I could say that, but that's what I think. I'm really not aware of how that happened." Very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's apparent that, he's trying to say that they weren't, starting on a Vita localization. Now, this could also be a cover-up just so people don't get mad or something like that, but, it's whatever. Next up is the announcement of an international version. Now, this is just the PS4 port also coming to Japan. Because usually this doesn't happen. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, when it came to PS4 in the US, they didn't make a PS4 version for the Vita for Japan. So that's why this is kind of a big deal. And the reason why I'm extremely surprised by this is because in under a year, the PlayStation Vita game is coming to the US. Under a year. It was released in March of 2016 in Japan, and this PS4 port is coming out in February of 2017 in Japan. Now, this actually can also be seen as a clue of why there won't be no Vita version. Now, I understand that since this version is way better, so it's only fair, that Japan can benefit as well. But this same thing kind of happened with Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. They had an update to add 7 new Digimon. But the thing is, this was a worldwide update, okay? It affected the Vita version in Japan as well as our PS4 and Vita version, And so it was like an update that added everything to everybody's version. While this updated version adds way more, which I will lay out in a little bit, it's still apparent that they were not able to add all these extra things into the Vita version. And if you read some reviews, it appears that the biggest negative thing that people had with Next Order is basically optimization issues, such as frame rates, clipping, and other things. The Vita version for the US seems to be scrapped, and the reasoning behind this seems to be a combination of that the Vita version was at its max capacity, and the PS4 is just a straight up bigger market in the West, which is so obvious. And it seemed as if the PS4 version was so much more superior that they decided to release it on in Japan as well. And so now if we are to talk about everything that's being added in the PS4 version, it would be obviously enhanced graphics, better game balance, which the in that interview he keeps mentioning that, saying they balance the game better. They also added a hard difficulty, while the Japan version is only easy mode. Now there's an easy, normal, and hard. They also added 12 new Digimon, which are Marine Angemon, Boltmon, Ice Devimon, Kaiser Greymon, or also known as Emperor Greymon, Magna Garurumon, Shine Greymon Burst Mode, Rosemon Burst Mode, Darkdramon, Chaosmon, Justimon, Minervamon, and Dianamon. They also added 30 new story elements. So that is a lot of stuff, and the graphics are looking good. You should be seeing screenshots on your screen. The graphics are looking very, very, very more polished. I'm looking forward to this. I will be covering a little bit more on as it comes out for us to look forward to in January 31st. I'm so mad it's in January. I wish I could have put it in March or something, but whatever. There's so many games in January now. January is basically how December was before, so not the best. But other than that, that's all I gotta say. Thank you all for watching. Hope this was very interesting for you guys. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy. But other than that, that's all I'm gonna say for this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Oh my god, I cannot talk this morning. Anyways, peace.
You see, I'm waiting and they hating, and I'm sipping on my tea. Bad bitch walking past, may I stop you, please? And I'm hungry as a bitch, but this life ain't free. If I'm trying to get this money, I can't really shake a tree. I be working, it's a 3:15. When I stop